Good morning, everyone, from Dunrovin Ranch in Lolo, Montana. And let me first say Happy New Year. I think we're all anxious for 2021 to come. We're hoping to say goodbye to the pandemic during this year. And I hope everyone is safe and happy and warm and had a wonderful holiday season in spite of all of our needs for social distancing. I'm happy to welcome you back this year. We certainly had a good time here, and I think our only complaint is we don't have any snow on the ground. And so, this is a little unusual for Montana not to have snow at this time of year, but we've had some fun things happen during the holidays, and we're looking forward to being back together with you. So with that in mind, I'm going to introduce you again to my wonderful friend, Brandon Carpenter, who is going to be talking with us momentarily from Hasknife Ranch in central Montana. I'm not exactly sure what Brandon has in store for us today, but I think it has something to do with horses. And with that, James, I'm going to ask you to roll the videos.
Well, good morning from the Hasknife. Today is another momentous occasion for one of our kids. That one. She is not going to be happy here in just a little bit because she, unknowingly to her, is going to be leaving Mama, and she gets to get weaned. So what we're going to do is, let me swing this around for you. And we've opened gates up so the horses out in the pasture, this just a small herd of 10 here, can come in. And actually that one coming through the gate right now is the one we want, that small black one, the second one. And what we're going to do is, since he's a 3-year-old, is we're going to bring him up, and he's going to live with her a little bit and become her best friend. And so we will actually be able to use him as a babysitter. Kaylin's going to open the gate. He may be even better off going down and locking him in, but we'll see how this goes. Yeah, horses being horses are like, oh no, wait a minute. They're opening gates for us. Bad things are about to happen. So we'll get him in one way or another here. We might get a little grain and seine him in, but that little black down there is going to be, he's 2.5 right now. He'll be 3 years old in the spring. So it's time to start training him. And I can do, again, maximization of my time by bringing him in with her, getting him to familiarize himself again with me, because they haven't handled him that much since he was a yearling, and then have him also babysit this colt for a little security and comfort. Yep, that guy right there. Kaylin's gonna bring him in. He'll just bring him into the alley, some of them, cut him off, and then they'll be able to see what we're gonna do with them. They get an idea too, like him. He kind of has an idea. He's like, hey, this is something for me. I'm not so sure, so we'll just see if we can kick him in there. Looks like, there we go. All right, he'll push him on in. Looks like we got an injury on a horse too. Yeah, we got a cut we need to take care of, so we'll see how this goes. All right, stick with us while we sort these guys out and see what we got here for an injury. All right, Kellen's got this gate open. We got some horses cut. Here comes his horse. He's going to come in and make a mess of things. Trying to get this filly out. There we go. He's had that horse since, how old were you? 4 years old, yeah. He's getting to be an old man. So we're just kind of looking him over a little bit. Everybody looks good except for one horse, and here's Braden's horse. All right, so we got these two geldings here, and we'll cut them out. And the small one will stay with this little filly, which, Kaylin, we could probably cut this mare, pull her out right now, and put her with these other horses. So he'll do that.
Let's go check more noses and toes.
Oh yeah, everybody. Yeah, we're just taking a look at him. We got a little cut on this one horse. We don't know where he picked it up at, so we got one of those things where they'll fight just like this.
Of course, they're stirred up the stairs.
Oh yeah. So you got young little studs thinking that they are the top dogs now, and they're gonna run these horses around. But this is what happens when you get a bunch of horses together. And this isn't a lot. We've really trimmed our horse numbers down. We used to have over 50 that we had in training or something at any one time. And then for sale horses, and of course mares breeding, several stallions. And right now I've just got the 2 prospects over here. These 2 little stallion prospects are running back and forth. I want to establish them. Why don't you just let her into this alley here? Yeah, that gate's closed. We're good there. So he's gonna see if this mare will follow him in here. She probably will, and then she's gonna have to reestablish herself in the herd here. Which, she's an older mare, but she's been gone. She's had this colt with her. And the hierarchy is that everybody is gonna have to reestablish where they're at in the herd, being a big dog or a little dog. And of course we got this stallion, he's being a dork, both of them. Yeah, they're trying to kick each other off and strike. Here's good herd behavior. Not necessarily good, but it is what it is. It's young stallions that are trying to all of a sudden assert themselves. All right, she's got mama's away and baby came with. So I'm gonna get in here with him. Now, did you set yourself up for failure? It happens. All right. That colt will probably stand and be fine. Here you go. That colt in there. Come on, little guy. Everybody's seeing you, haven't they, huh? Everybody knows who you are. Come on, Envy. Had a girl. And she's knowing something's up. This is not right. This is not right. And we're gonna push her mother around here a little bit. These guys left and right. Come on. Come on. There you go. Get in there. Had a girl. Had a girl. All right, now she's gonna have a little anxiety. They both will, and that's why having this little gelding come with her is important. It's okay. She's all right. She'll come back. Let's Kaylin, let's do this. Let's hold her here. Well, I'm thinking let's get this colt acclimated to this little gelding. We'll hold him here fairly close, and that way we don't have any more problems than we are buying. So let's move that little gelding in with her. And they're going to fight, and they're going to kick, and they're going to squeal a little bit, but they got to learn. There we go. We'll see if we can move them along here. And this is always, herd behavior of horses is way different than cows. This isn't. It is not always as fun. Yeah, we're going to put this gelding in here, a little gelding. See if we can push him around here. Hey, kiddo. There you go, kiddo. Cut them out. There we go. That was quick. All right. Now we'll let these two get acquainted. This baby is really not too concerned. Yeah, he's going to set some more corral gates, so you don't have much of a problem. And notice that this gelding is picking up the foot like he's going to kick at her, and but he also knows he's a baby, or the little girl's a baby, so he may be a little bit more kind. And that baby's going to show some behavior too, or she'll snap her teeth back and forth, just up and down, like open her mouth rapidly when she's scared, letting everybody know she's a baby, still like she did when we hey, get out of here. See that? Now they're gonna push each other, and he's gonna dominate her and be mean to her a little bit, run her off. All right, so let's get the mare away now, so that this gelding isn't, he was trying to kick at her a little bit. So we'll kick that mare out, and these horses will all take off, hopefully, and work the things out. This mare is going to try to hang around. She's not going to want to leave this little colt. And his bigger gelding is like, hey, wait a minute. This isn't where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be out there. I don't want to do this. And his maternal instinct. It's actually a fairly critical time for this colt and the mare. You can have injuries happen here, and there's not really a really good way. This is about as good a way as you can to acclimate them. And she's going to try to protect that colt from him, and he's just kind of ignoring her. So if we can get her to go out now. There we go. And the gelding is just more worried about being with that herd than being locked up. And Braden's now on the picture. He's going to push her right on out. And Mama's not going to be happy, but that's the way it is. And we'll have a little tougher time getting her out. But now she's going to have another problem, and that's these other horses, because they are not going to necessarily allow her to just slip right back into that herd hierarchy like I was saying earlier. Okay, we'll give it a couple of minutes, supervise a little, and see how this goes. I'd like to see these horses just take off and get out into the pasture again. All right. So we will go ahead and just give it a few minutes, and we'll be back. As you can see, they're starting to settle a little bit more now. This little gelding is, I shouldn't say little, because he's still pretty good size. He's trying to put the run on her a little bit, make her understand that he's a boss. But as things progress a little bit here, he's noticed she's working this north side of this corral instead of the side over here where all the horses are. Now he wants to be over there because that's where he came from. And how stirred up these horses are is kind of a overstatement if you said that, because now look at the herd as they're there. Got two older geldings right here and a young mare, and then out there in the pasture you can see this little filly's mother is the one that's clear out there in the lead by that gray horse. So she's unconcerned. She's done this a number of times, and quite frankly, she's probably sick and tired of this this colt. They get demanding and they push them around, and they're just little snots. So she's shed probably one tear for this little one to now go to kindergarten, and decided that I'm going to just go out, enjoy some peace and quiet with some of my herd mates that I've known for years, and call it good. And they'll recognize each other from time to time. This colt's going to cry and whine and call for her for a number of days, but that's why we stuck this gelding with her. This guy right here. So he's only 2.5, coming 3, and he's already starting to settle a little bit. He's not wanting to be here. He wants to be with his pasture mates, but this is life and this is reality, and he'll get used to it. He'll teach her how to drink. Hey, big boy. This guy's name is Hawk, and Hawk will teach her to drink out of that water over there. We've given them some really good hay, so they'll nibble on this and be able to just settle in a little bit. And again, see how she's over there near Braden, and she's not throwing as much of a fit, but she's crying, she's whining, but she's not even over here next to this colt yet, and working away, so she's not so fixated on the mare, but she's not going to come near this little gelding either right off. So this is just what happens. It's kind of it seems really high intensity, and he did kick at her a little bit to begin with. Now see, she's going to try to come up here, getting closer, try to make friends with him a little bit and say, hey, who are you? Can I help you? Can I help you help me? And I'm just a baby, but I need somebody a shoulder to lean on. And she's familiar with people, so she's kind of hanging out with Braden there and is completely comfortable with him. So she's not wild, but she's just upset. And this is a very stressful time for her, but we're going to make this as comfortable for her as we can. But she still needs to know that she can't just run around and boss people around like that. Because he just looked at her and she, little horse behavior there, some herd behavior. He looked at her and she moved off. So this is good. She'll keep her distance. They'll be buddies before long, and he'll get her through this really hard weaning period. And then we'll move some animals around. I got to put some heifers out with some cows and move some bulls and a steer around and make some room in a pasture. I got a couple of these studs that we need to move off. There, he just ran off. Got spooked by somebody on the other side of the corral. And then we will take them down to the other place and work with them a little closer, a little tighter, where I can really monitor them. All right. So thanks for sticking with us so far. She'll come over there. She went and got a little bite of hay. She doesn't need milk anymore, even though she thinks that would be the best thing. But we'll keep you updated time to time here. Well, as you can see, we're still at a stalemate on calming down, but much better. Colt is here, and she calls, and Mom has actually had some regret about sending her baby off to school. So she has come back, and she'll do this off and on for several days. She'll wander off for a little bit. I come out here, and horses started talking to me a little bit, which drew her back in. She was starting to walk off a minute ago, but baby cries, so she's going to come back. But this is just going to be a process for several days, or until I completely remove this colt from this area and take her down to the other place. So more turmoil, more crying, more hope, but only to be dashed. I've just separated this coming 3-year-old gelding from the filly, and they're actually getting along pretty well now. You'll notice she's starting to bond with him, wants to be with him a little bit, and as I move away, she'll go back over to him, which is a good thing. So they're settling down a little bit. They're becoming buddies, because as you pan across, you may not be able to see this too well, but there's not another horse to be seen out there in that pasture. So Mom has decided that, being kidless is probably not a bad thing. And so she comes in, drinks, and then leaves with the rest of the herd. She's kind of resigned herself to the fact that the little one's not going to be able to go with her anymore. And so the weaning process is well started on her part, and it's a good thing. So the less time they spend lamenting about that, then the better off they are, I think, emotionally. And then this colt's going to go through that regardless, because that's all she knows is her mama. But if you can have another horse here with her that'll be not Mom, but somebody that will accept her and become a buddy, then all the better. So I'll see if we can get her to come up here a little bit. And she may or may not do it. We worked on some drinking the other day. There you go. Come on, sweetheart. Come on with me. Come on up here. I was teaching her to drink out of this automatic waterer. And see if we can do this again. Because they have to learn. They have to push this paddle down. And they have to learn that that's how they're going to get their water. I'll give her a little bit of a... There we go. I'll watch her do this. She picked it up. She was doing really well pretty fast. So you can tell she's not thirsty, but she might play with it some. We'll see. She wants a little bit. And she learned, there, she learned, see that? Really smart little filly. And she picked that up in about, probably 30 minutes or so. She was pretty thirsty, and I've found that if you try to show that to them right away, they're really disinterested, especially when it comes to some other thing that's got their mind engaged, like Mom on a weaning. But she wasn't going to drink that first day anyway, and so I just didn't even really try. And The gelding would do it. Sometimes these other horses, and that's another reason to put an older horse that's been taught how to drink out of a waterer. They help them figure that out. They'll watch and they'll see a monkey see, and they'll do a monkey do. And hi there, smell that? And so they're able to figure this out and kind of teach themselves or have their little mates do this with them. So we'll try this again. I'm going to slip over here now, give it a push, just enough that she'll try it. And when they're thirsty, she really worked that thing over quite a bit. Hi. And was really trying to do it. She's figured out. She's mouthing it, pushing it. There we go. Look at that. And she's not filling it up. She's getting just enough where she can get a little water in there, get a drink, and that's okay. I don't care. As long as she can fill her little gulliga zipper with some water when she needs it, and she's eating dry hay, really good grass hay with this gelding, then we're well on our way to making things happen a whole lot better. Making things much, much more comfortable for her, and she'll be a little bit more self-sufficient. Let's see what we can do here with the foot. Give me a foot. Atta girl. Oh, good girl. Good job. Rub that belly some. And you just kind of keep doing the same things you were doing. She loves that hind end scratched. So we're going to give her a little bit of that. Lean into that side. Rub up her back some. Now look at her pushing that nose out. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, I like that a lot. Oh, my goodness. And making stuff she likes. Stays so she doesn't get resentful of you. And they figure out who controls the gates around here. And when it's me, oh yeah. When it's me, they kind of will say, you know what, you're not making me very happy. And I've had that happen with a couple of these little stud colts that we will show here after a couple of weeks. We'll start working them a little bit more too, but they will kind of have a little bit of resentment towards you, but then they figure out that, you know what, some perks come with this too. So maybe I hadn't ought to be so hard on this guy. I hope. Anyway, that's what we got for today, and we'll just keep working this, make sure she can drink, and she does. And look at her go again. Oh, so she's that disinterested. That was only a couple of quick drinks. She's not thirsty, and as you can tell, she's not gant at all. She's pretty well packaged and has got absolutely no thirst issues, so that's a really good thing. All right. Well, you guys, until the next video comes out, we'll talk to you later.
Good morning, Brandon. That was great. I loved watching that. How are you this year?
Really good. Thank you. It's, it's warm and dry and the wind's not blowing right now, so I can't ask for a whole lot better in January.
Yeah, well, your videos raised a lot of questions, and it also reminded me a lot of what goes on here. I don't have cattle, but I do have horses.
Right.
First of all, people wanted to know how many horses do you normally have? I think you mentioned that your herd is smaller than it used to be in the past. Is that not right?
Yeah, we're down to about 15 to 20 head, somewhere in there. I'd have to count them all up, but it's about that. Yeah, 17, something like that. We used to have over 50 head. We had less cows and had more horses, and it was just a strategic change that we did. And you kind of follow the economy a little bit and what's going on, and we thought, well, maybe that we were seeing a downturn probably about 10 years ago. And then we thought, well, let's pare back the horses a little bit, because, we get a fair price for our horses. We train them. Like we've always said, we can sell horses and anybody can sell a horse, but what we sell is our training of the horse. And so, we're able to really, it's selling the training that comes with it. So when my dad was alive, it was he and I that did the majority of the training. And then as my boys got older, they joined in, and we would do that as a group. The boys didn't have as many horses, but we would put them on a few rides towards the end. and so that we could get what we call depth, or just having different teachers gives you a little broader knowledge, and it's really what it is with the horses. So we would do that. And then my dad had the audacity to go and die on me. So that put all of the work on me and my boys. And now the Army's got one of them, and the other one fights fire in wildlands fire. So it's just me. And so with that, the overhead is really, really high, and the amount of work that you put into it is tremendous with a horse compared to a cow. We get a good price for our horses, like I said. The thing about the cows is you may or may not get a good price, but you're going to get a paycheck at some point. You may have a horse and it not get paid for a year because you don't get paid for it until you sell it. So that's a little unpredictable that way. So we try to balance that out a little bit. And then we've even cut that back a little bit more now that it's just me training. I just simply don't have the time to do justice. And where we really make our money on our horses is the training end of it. I mean, I can sell colts, and we do sell them that have no training or very little training, and then they go to somebody else, but it's not quite as profitable to do that. And we're in it for a profit, not just a heritage, but you gotta do something that's going to make you money, not cost you money.
Exactly. And I'm not sure people understand how important the reputation of the trainer is. Once Brandon sells a horse, that becomes a Brandon Carpenter Hasknife horse throughout its life, where that horse came from. And the horse world is a small world in a place like Montana, particularly if you are within a specific breed, like Tennessee walking horses. Everybody knows everybody. And so Brandon has just a stellar reputation. Both you and your father had extremely good reputations that, people would say, I want to buy a good horse. And all the Tennessee walking horse people would say, well, there's about 2 breeders that we know of that you really want to talk to first. And you were always at the top of the list there. But that takes an enormous amount of investment on your part to really make sure that horse lives up to each and every time your reputation.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. It's very, very hard to maintain a reputation when a horse leaves you, because now that horse can be basically trained by the owner, who may or may not do a good job. So if you do a very sound foundational training on it, then it's likely to do fine. But you can sure have someone not do a good job or not maintain it. And so that's the people problem end of that. So you still have risk out there. And I know people that have quit training because they said, God, I'm tired of beating my head against a wall and having a horse go to somebody, they ruin the horse and it's my fault. And that does happen. I mean, that's a concern. One of the things we do, and I did this really, really early on, and I think I'm the only one that I know that did this, and there may be some others that are doing it now, is I video that horse at the end of its training to show what it will do. It's just a 10, 15-minute training video showing exactly all of the things that I've required this horse to do. And I have yet to have a horse come back as an untrained horse or someone, not to us, and I haven't heard any bad mouthing, but there's always somebody who will, but that's the nature of it. I mean, you cannot control everything once it leaves you. You can't control a lot of things when they're in your grasp. So it still is a risk and a gamble. The one thing that I have said that is not in just in our industry, but everywhere, and that is, if you service what you do, that will bring people back. You make good on what you say you can do and what you have done, and I think that helps to make the reputation stay in place, because somebody takes a horse, they leave us, and then they start having a difficulties with it. Then I'm happy to work with them. I'll say, look, and that's, if it's a horse I've sold to them, I don't charge them for that. That is a gratis, my training or my ability to talk to them through the training and say, okay, I think you may be doing this wrong. And believe me, doing that over a telephone sometimes is not the easiest thing, but I've been able to solve issues that they have almost always been the part of the person doing it, not realizing they're not doing something quite right. So it's one of those things that if you just service what you do, it goes a long ways. There's a lot of used car salesmen out there, and you know how they go from sales lot to sales lot. Well, the same thing applies with some trainers.
Yeah, and I want to say that you made it very clear at the get-go with the horses that I have sent you that I needed to be part of that process, that this was not just your training the horse, but you're training me to interact with the horse. And I mean, you made me a much better horseback rider and trainer myself by working with me. And that was always very clear with any horses that you have been involved with. I know a lot of people who have purchased horses from you, and they all felt the same way, that you made it clear in a very open and inclusive way that they had to be part of the process.
Yeah, it is only an introduction into their horse, because the horse's behavior and their personality changes when they come to me, because now they're being trained and in a way that is more formal, and it's exact. I think I told you when I first met you, is that you got to be a Nazi with these horses. You cannot let them do anything you don't want them to do, because that's what the training is. Uh-huh. And so when they come to me, that horse changes a little bit. Their personality changes. Their way of thinking changes. So you have to be reintroduced to the horse that you thought you knew, or the horse that you brought to me. And so it's very important to do that, because if I can explain why you're doing what you're doing, what the horse is thinking, what the little idiosyncrasies that they may have, you already know how to take care of that so that you can solve that problem and help yourself out and to support the horse. And when you do that, they become your partner. And that's really what we're after, is it's a relationship and a partnership with your horse.
It's a really important thing, and I don't think people understand how important it is in a guest ranch situation. Because when I'm in the back country and there's an accident, and this has happened, I came to the end of a trail one time, and there had been a big blowdown, kind of a microburst, and so I had to go around a quite an extensive area with no trail. And if those horses had not been well trained to stay behind you, to stay off of you, we had to go down a really steep slope with a lot of scree. So we were sliding down. And those horses, because, and this, I got this from you and also from Con Ovnick. You remember Con?
I do.
That every time I interacted with that horse, that's how the horse is going to react to anybody. And so if they're in the hands of one of my clients and I'm having them walk down a steep slope, and that horse is not trying to keep its body weight off of you, you could get into real trouble fast. And so it really came home to me just how vitally important it is that every time you handle the horse, that you make sure that there are certain rules, that horse just becomes, he lives with those rules, just lives with them, because, you never know when you're not going to be the one handling them in a difficult situation.
That's right. Well, and it's not only that also happens from the beginning of the training. I have to teach that horse to maintain calmness, because I've got to maintain calmness. And it's really, I heard a great term just yesterday, and it has to do with how you react in situations. And some of my former life with some of the things I did, I taught how to stay basically alive in high stress situations. I mean, shootings, stabbings, hand-to-hand combat. And the term is stress inoculation. And what a great term, because you react in a way that you've practiced for. And if you think those scenarios or go through those scenarios in your head and think about how you would react to them, you've already started to problem solve. And that's the other half of it is problem solving. There was a horse, I can remember, God, I can't remember his name. There's so many horses that I took in the mountains it was the first ride in the mountains. I'd ridden him here. So he probably only had about 10 or 12 rides on him, which is not a lot to take a horse back into the Beartooth wilderness. And I was riding, and this horse happened to just have a personality, which I had to pass on to the owner, that he would just look and gawk. He wanted to take everything in. That's not uncommon with a young trained horse, but this horse was really, really just not getting over that. And as I come down a slight slope, the trail turned and there was a water bar, and he was looking off to the side. And as he did, he tripped over the water bar, which I expect a horse to trip and fall at times, because you just prepare for it. You can kind of help hold him up and you can get ready. But this horse went down so fast, he went down on my leg, and then I thought, oh, I could feel one of the buckles to the rigging. I could feel a sharp pain. It went into my leg, but I could feel my leg break. And I laid there and I went, oh no, I'm in a spot, because now I got this horse laying on me on my right leg. I've got a hold of him and we're laid out and I can't get my leg out from under him. And I don't know the extent of my damage. I don't know if my legs, if I gets up, am I just gonna have a foot fall over or not? You just don't know. But you're in a spot. But to his credit, he laid there quietly, because I just talked to him, said, "You're all right, good boy." And you maintain your calmness, they will maintain yours. Long story short, I tried to pull my leg out, put my foot against the back of the saddle, and I did have somebody there with me, so that was a bonus. And they were panicking. I said, "No, just hold the horse, just take his rein and just hold on to him, but don't let him up, because I don't know if I can't clear the stirrup. He might, panic and drag me off." And just maintain his calmness. As I tried to pull my leg out, bracing my foot against the saddle, I felt my leg, the bone reset. I was like, oh God, that felt good. But the point is, the whole time, this horse just laid there because I didn't panic. But I had prepared him for that, and then he followed my lead when I maintained that. So those are important things to pass on to a new owner. Say, hey, this horse, he moves around, he looks around, he could lose his step, he could stumble. So you have to watch these things and be diligent about that. And he may outgrow that, and I'm sure he probably did with some maturity, but he will also respond how you respond. And it's a huge tenet of the training. So very important to pass that stuff on, have them involved, take a ride with me when the horse is done, just as you did. I think we went in backcountry about, 10 miles or so, 11 miles, something like that, of that lake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was great. And you did pass on. Lonza was one of those. She had an issue with one side. She didn't look on one side. In fact, I remember you telling me you got to be careful with her, because she gawks only on one side. So it really makes a difference when you understand what's happening with your horse. You become the eye on that side.
Yes, and I think I called it, she would like bird eye stuff. She would look at it out of the side of one eye. She would turn her head literally like that to look at things. And like, well, that's unusual, but there's no sight diminished issues. No. But it was just the way just her personality.
Yeah, that's right. So here's a couple other questions, and these are interesting ones. How old was the colt, that little filly, in your video? 6 months?
She foaled on the 29th of July. Yeah. So August, September, October, November. She's 4.5 months old, almost 5 months old, which is, I weaned her just a week or so earlier than I wanted to, but I've been kind of hesitant because you want to really watch the mare if she's drawn that mare down too much. And she was a late colt. My mom decided she wanted to breed that mare the year before, kind of at the last minute. And I was like, oh God, Mom. But, Mom wants to do it. It's like, okay, I think I can make this work. So I've had to, just kind of be careful and really keep a close eye on the mare, especially that she doesn't, they just suck the life right out of them. I mean, that's what mothers happen to them with babies. So I've just watched her and everything has turned out. We've had an open winter. It's been really easy. So she's not too young to wean, but she's plenty young.
And in the wild, normally what happens is the mare gets pregnant again, and that's when the young is kicked off. So that this happens in the wild regardless. So what about mare's milk? Is it as high in butter fat as a cow's milk is, for example? As
far as a butter fat, I don't know. The volume is less, obviously, but I can tell you this. I've drank warm mare's milk. When we have kids out or something and you're explaining what there's all kinds of different things you can do with a horse and explain these kids. If I have a pregnant mare, I'll hold them, hold their hand out. I'll show them and I'll milk that mare and I'll put it a little bit in my hand and I'll drink that milk and then have them do the same thing. It's very, very sweet. It's almost as sweet as condensed milk.
Yeah.
But as far as the much fat, I think there is. It's just lower volume, but certainly higher in sucrose.
Yeah, and there are cultures that use mare's milk and make cheese and all kinds of things out of there.
The Mongols, they are their ability to survive as a people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The other thing I noticed was your water, and I'm jealous of your waters because they don't require electricity, and I wish I had them here. Those are kind of a new. Was that your invention or what?
Oh God, I wish that was my invention. No, it's a company out of Colorado, and very, very effective. There are lots of different systems that I wanted something that did not involve electricity, because when you mix electricity and water, that's a bad thing in itself. But then when you add a horse to that, you'll teach them not to drink if there's a slight electrical shock or some sort of a grounding issue or a hot wire issue, and they're expensive to keep heated. They are horribly expensive. So this basically works just like a hydrant. When you shut the water off, it completely drains back down through the hose down to frost level and clears the line. The one thing you have to watch out for is on a situation just like this with these colts, you may have a horse that plays with that waterer, and they'll keep bringing the water up and down constantly because they've got nothing better to do as a colt, and they will slowly freeze that water line. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So every day when you go out there and check that, you may have water that's froze. They will freeze with a horse that does that because it doesn't fill completely and then completely drain. It just plays that game where it slowly freezes off. So I have had to pour hot water in there out of like a hot tea kettle, or worst case scenario, you have to pull it. But usually you can fill it free. And then once you get water flowing, then you need to stand there and keep water flowing, and you have to make sure it comes out and drains and out and drains. And the water coming from the line below frost level will cut that ice. It'll melt it as it's going out. So that's the only thing that we've ever had an issue with those waterers. They're fantastic waterers. Expensive, but they're good. They're worth it.
Yeah, they look like it. I could talk all day with you about horses. And
we have done that. I believe we've done that over wine and scotch at night too, haven't we?
Cigars, if I don't remember right.
Cigars and pipes as well. Yeah, we've gone the whole debauchery realm there.
Yeah, we've had fun. But one of the things I really wanted to have you talk about is something that a lot of people have asked me about here at Dunrovin. And that is, your horses are not kept in a barn in the middle of the winter. Your horses don't have necessarily a shelter, nor would they use it if they did have it. Horses, people sometimes get on my web cameras and say, look at those poor horses. They're out there with nothing to keep them, no shelter. And I say, well, look at them. There's snow on their back. What does that tell you? It's not melting. They're very well insulated. So, and you're in rougher country than I am. It gets colder out there and the wind. So would you address that a little bit?
Yeah, that's a very good point. And it's something that I see a lot of people, especially new horse owners, the first thing they do with cold weather is they put a blanket on their horse and they let him go. And really, that is the worst thing that you can do. As long as that blanket is dry, yeah, it's okay. But those horses need to acclimate to that weather. They've been doing this for millions of years. The fact is, I think I just said that. Lisa, my wife, said something about that here just a few days ago. And our son, Kalen and Braden, were both home for Christmas, which was fantastic for us. And she said something about needing to do something for these horses. And I said, look, they've been doing this for millions of years. And my son, Kalen, starts laughing. He walks away. He goes, I have heard this conversation before, many times. But if you let that blanket get wet, you'll actually cause harm. You can cause that horse to get sick. Yeah. They are just fine. They will acclimate. You watch a horse, if you've ridden, and I know you have, in high winds, that horse will turn their hind end to that wind, and they put their head down and they just take it. They're incredibly resilient. And so we think we're helping them, but we're not. We can actually do some harm that way. Now, the one caveat to that is if the animal's already ill or has some injury where they're compromised, bring them in, and I have done that where we can get them out of the wind, at least by a barn, or it's rare to put them in a barn because they don't want to be confined either. It really causes anxiety for a horse if they're not used to that, to be confined. And so, you're adding to that. You're really causing a little bit more harm than good by doing that.
Yeah. Well, as you well know, Dick Richardson was my vet, and he's retired now. But he
That's
always
too bad.
told me,
That is way too bad because he's a fantastic vet.
he is a fantastic vet. And he always said, Suzanne, you can't go wrong by keeping a horse in its natural conditions. And that is, during the cold, just feed them more. All they really need is low quality, high fiber hay all winter long. You don't need to. In fact, horses' lungs are so large and they take in so much air. And he said that stagnant air in a barn is not where you want a horse. You want them outside.
That's right. You'll see them their nose starts to drip. They start getting respiratory issues, and you cannot help but kick up dust when you are in a confined area like that. You do. It's just nothing you can do about that.
Right. At any rate, I so love talking with you, Brandon, and I know our viewers love listening to you and hearing you. And I just hate to let you go, but I know that Ashley is waiting to have her turn with you. So. Oh,
good.
Yeah, Oggy's all well, and we're going to get him started. And I really appreciate all of this. And I'm going to talk with you later, but thank you for your videos and just for helping us understand your world.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This is such a fun thing to do. I can't imagine somebody wants to listen to my voice because I hate the sound of it when we play some of these things back with my son when we do our Sunday hangouts or and the podcasting that assumed to come with us too. So, but you know what? If people want to look at a face made for radio and a voice that's even worse, then hey, I'm in there. I'm your guy.
Well, we love having you, Brandon. And with that, I'm going to turn you over to Ashley. Is Ashley ready, James?
James went and got a fish coffee.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Ashley.
Hi, I've been listening the whole time.
We've just been John too much. I hope we didn't make you stand there too long.
Oh, that's okay. We've been walking around in circles, keeping each other warm.
All right.
Yeah, so last Thursday or so, I brought Oggy in here, and we just kind of played around for like 15, 20 minutes. I just wanted to see how his leg was doing, and he looks like he's doing a lot better. So I'm excited to get back to training him.
Good. It sounds like the swelling is down. He's not favoring it. All of those good things then that we look for.
Yeah, no swelling, no limping.
Good.
Nothing. So, but definitely, like, I've noticed a change in how he interacts with me since I've been taking care of him and vetting him. Basically, he's just a lot more attached to me now. And even when we were in here the last time, I felt like he was listening to me a lot better.
Yeah, that's a very good thing to bring up because I have had horses that have been very, very difficult to train, our own horses, and they just have not been as really willing to bond with you, and then gotten an injury, and because of the fact that you're handling them so much and taking care of an injury, that it changes them that way, and they do really start to, if not look forward to, some of the more positive interaction, even though you're fixing a problem, they're very good about understanding that you're there to help them, not hurt them. I don't know that. Obviously, you can't ask them that, but that's my takeaway from that. And it makes a huge difference on the relationship. So yeah, that's one good thing that comes out of that.
Because, like, I noticed he would always, like, come up to me because he's very curious anyways. But now he's like, oh, you're my person. Right. I want to hang out with you.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's good. What they'll do, and kind of a warning is once they get really super comfortable, then they might start getting pushy because now the relationship is, hey, I'm okay with you. Now you need to listen to me. So, and we've talked about that before, but it's very easy to do that.
Yeah, I try my best if he is getting pushy to either push him off of me or just walk away. Don't give him the satisfaction of pushing me around. Yeah,
no, that's really good, and being really diligent about that is the most important thing. So good job, good recognition of that right off. And we are going to start, and I haven't quite got it finished yet. I'm trying to do a little bit of research so that we can make a stone float. And because we're going to start dragging some things behind him pretty soon. And I got to get that to James, but I've got most of it together. I think the best thing to do is just get the drawing and go over it with James, and we will make that happen. But so that we can actually start that. But we have to prep him for that, and get him ready for that. And it won't take a lot for that prep work, but that's some of the things to come. We're gonna start putting him to work a little bit and see how we can do with him.
I'm excited. He needs a job. He's been freeloading too long.
Yeah, that's right. Well, why don't you go ahead and work him, and we'll see how he does.
Good boy. So I have some icy spots out here, and I've put sand down, but it's mostly like super thin, like glass kind of ice, where if you step on it, it'll crack.
Okay.
So I tried my best to like stomp on most of them, but I'm just going to be careful with him walking around. Oh, really? Come on, you can walk and poop.
Yeah, he can do that and move.
This is the whip I don't like. Good boy. Yeah, he just finished his breakfast, so I guess that's fair.
Well, and a little exercise, that's normal.
Yeah.
Just as a kind of a side note, I remember my grandpa telling me from the time I was a little kid, we'd mount up and be headed out to ride somewhere, and he had a rule that you could only walk your horse till he took his first poop.
Yep.
And then after that, you could trot him, but you couldn't run. And once he took his second poop, then you're okay to go ahead and lope that horse out. Let them warm up. Let that body and body system, that whole gut, really clear out and get into some service before you really work them too hard. And I've never lost that. It is important, and I think it's very important for that. So good job. Oh,
right.
Yeah. Okay. See the pushy?
Yeah. You didn't do that last time.
Yeah, don't be afraid to use that whip to push him away as he comes across. Go ahead and give him a little bit of a flick of that to drive that shoulder away from you.
Okay.
Because that was almost effortless for him, because he just kind of changed directions all really slowly.
Yeah.
And he pushed you. He pushed you with that shoulder.
Good boy. Good boy.
That's better. That's better.
Whoa. Whoa. Good boy.
Good. Okay, yeah, see how he's really slow to react?
Mm-hmm.
So what he's doing, believe it or not, with him not reacting, is the same as pushing on you. If that makes sense. It's like, yeah, I don't have to. So it's just some more passive type of, and it's not aggression. It's just passive pushing. I'm not going to do this. So make sure when you ask them and go, and he doesn't ask them, the second if you ask him and he doesn't do it, within a half a second, then really drive him and make him pick up and move faster. And I know we're trying to keep it a little slower, but he can certainly move at a fast walk at the very minimum, maybe in just almost a slow trot. He needs to respond, is what I'm saying. Better. Even a little faster than that. Even your response within a half a second. If he doesn't do it, correct him. There you go. That's better. Good job. And I know what we do is we tend to do the same thing with these horses with their relationship with us where we give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, maybe I didn't communicate this right. And you should always consider that. Maybe I didn't look at this. Maybe he didn't hear me. And for the difference with this is those verbal cues are secondary to that to the visual cue. So they're going to really pick up on those visual cues as well. So really, when they don't do it right and they haven't watched you or listened to you, that's a good cue for you that they need to do that more. They need to pay attention instead of just kind of blowing you off.
Oh, he does not want him to stop.
Yeah, I see that. He just wants to go through it and blow through it. And again, the same thing. He's making the decision to do what he wants to do or what he thinks he can get away with.
Whoa.
Okay, if he's going to do that, yeah, let's go ahead and let's make him want to slow down. I think your corral is probably in pretty good shape. It looks to me like I've never seen him slip or anything.
He just slipped.
Did he? Okay, I missed it.
Yeah. So I don't want to go too much faster than a trot.
Okay. Well, let's take him up to the maximum that you feel comfortable with, Ashley, and then we'll really extend this corral work. I mean, as far as what we're doing right now, that faster, harder work, because it is a little bit more work for him. And then we'll ask him to stop after he gives us a sign when he seems like he wants to slow down or he wants to change directions. Really good sign that he's tired of going this direction or doing what we're doing, and maybe he'll give us a better stop.
Whoa. Good boy.
Oh, yeah. He's clearly being a pusshead.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and now don't let him. Let's go ahead and reset a little bit. And what we'll have you do, there you go, is go ahead and do exactly what you're doing. We'll just kind of stop. But the next time he stops or you do get him stopped, make him turn immediately. Don't give him any rest.
Okay.
And then we may work him back and forth and see if we can shorten up and make this stop a little bit sharper or a whole lot sharper.
Yeah.
These are good things to work on. What you might also see is when you correct him a little bit like this and discipline him a little bit, he might lose some of the infirmary friendly that he has created that you talked about earlier.
That's fine by me.
Yep. No, it's okay. He needs to learn that, hey, you're the one making the decisions here.
I'm the boss.
You're the boss.
Whoa.
Okay, one of the things we might do, and you're doing everything correctly, so we need to just tune him up a little bit. Instead of all of this time I've had you step straight back, and you're doing that correctly. So now this is a time for us to adjust what we're doing. When he doesn't stop, when you've asked him, go kind of to the side, about a 45-degree angle, and now instead of straight back, come off to the side where you're pinching him off a little bit.
Okay.
And see how that works. And this is one of those things where sometimes we just have to adjust ourselves when we know it's not necessarily the right thing. There you go. Good. Praise.
Good boy.
Good. Good job. Drive him. Good job.
Good boy. Yeah, so he needs that extra level of pressure to really get him to stop.
Well, and what we're trying to do is not just give him a little bit more cues, but it's saying you need to stop. And it's
Yeah.
a little harder on us, but then we will work back to when he stops correctly, then we'll stop giving him that kind of pinching him off with our body. And he may be one of these horses in the long run that is like, yeah, I don't want to have to listen. So he might be a little higher maintenance, which when they're like that, then we have to be even tougher on them.
It's just like, do you reach a certain threshold where no matter how much pressure and how hard you are on them, they just like completely zone out of it?
Yeah, and all he's doing is, again, he's just pushing on you. He's, to his credit, he has been able to maximize his ability to do what he wants since birth, and that's not. It's very difficult. Ooh, now he stopped. Okay, now he's telling you he doesn't want to move, so go ahead and pop him on the butt if you have to. Tell him, there you go. He just decided to stop, not his job. His job is to do what you tell him to do. So good. Yeah, he's just testing you to see how far he can push you. But what I was saying is, he's been able to do good. Very good. Much better. And a better start the other direction. Good. What he's been able to do is just have people love on him, and it's nobody's fault in particular. It's just the nature of having a lot of people at a dude ranch like this who come and guess what? Babies are cute. Everybody wants to see whether it's a baby puppy or baby kitty or horse or calf. They want to love on it, touch it, play with it, and they learn in a hurry that they can kind of do what they want to do. So that becomes their expectation.
That's what I'm saying. He's the Prince of Dunrovin.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah. Push him hard. Drive him off. Make sure that when he hears whoa, he means whoa. So we don't have to, let's not drive him. Let's change our tact a little bit and let's drive him quickly, but for a shorter number of turns.
Okay.
Because he's been working a lot now. Whoa. Now he's kind of wanting to stop. There you go. That's better. Oh, you little turd. Look at that.
Left-handed.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you'll get more coordinated.
Whoa. Good boy.
Okay, notice how he wants to stop short when you're on his offside. But when going the opposite direction, that's where he doesn't want to stop short. He wants to just keep moving. And we've been pretty consistent there with about 3 different stops.
Good boy.
And I'm just watching his gait. He's moving completely fine on that leg. You're good job of healing him up.
Yeah.
Cellulitis that's a tough deal. That's a fine wire to try to walk.
Yeah, and it's just like I've been not wanting to push it with him, but also like he needs to be exercising. So
that's
trying to find
the
a
wire.
balance between it.
Yeah, that's the wire. You got it.
Didn't ask you to stop.
There we go. Good job. When he does that, then I would make him move faster than what he did before. There you go. Good stop. So when he doesn't do what you want, or when he makes a decision like that to stop, man, get on him right away and make him work a little bit harder for just a very short time, and then go back to what you were doing.
Okay.
That's just more discipline, and it's correction, making him work a little bit harder than he doesn't need to.
Whoa. Good
better.
Boy.
That's better. See how he stopped and then continued on and then stopped. He's looking for that opening. So good job. Very good job of I would have loved to seen him stop right off the bat, but you're making some headway there.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Yeah.
Good boy. Brett.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's do something a little different. Go ahead and finish what you're doing, but let's do something a little bit different, just to get him to, get his mind out of what we're doing so repetitively. So we'll just take a little bit of a different tack, try something else, and then we'll come back to this just before the end.
One more circle of a trot. Whoa. Good boy.
Much better. There you go. That's a really good place to stop and do something different. So great job. There, look at that head come down. Very good. I bet those eyes are blinking a little bit. Mm-hmm. Good. Very good. Very good. Now you'll notice how I've given you, 3 or 4 different things to do, to try, which isn't normal. We normally want him to do what we want by doing a very specific thing. That used to be more for your training, but you are doing exactly what you need to do, particularly when you want to stop, you're stepping back. Mm-hmm. That's not working. So then we need to be flexible and say, okay, sometimes we need to do the opposite thing. So it's very good of you to follow that. What? I'm sorry?
I said push a different button.
Push a different button.
See what else works.
Yeah, exactly. So very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you could be like pulling a flag out of your pocket, throwing it firmly in the air and say, wait a minute, that's not what you told me to do before. And you'd be right. But this is why we're doing things a little bit differently, just changing what will work. It's up to us to change, to reflect and get that horse to reflect what we want, sometimes in spite of ourselves. And if we have to adjust ourselves to do that, and then we make that horse change their behavior to where we can then do it consistently and then get them to do what we want the original way we did it, then we've trained them.
Right.
I know that sounds like I'm talking through mud, but
no, it makes sense. Just trying to figure out what is actually going to work and then just going with that. But you want to have one consistent thing so that way other people that are working with him too also know the same cue.
Yes. That is precisely it, because you're training this horse for the horse, but you also have to be able to do it so that other people can handle them and respond. I had an example of that where I had a woman come and try a horse. She wanted to work this horse before she purchased him, which is, that's perfect. That's what we want. Mm-hmm. And she got in the round corral. And I said, would you like some assistance, let you know what it is? She goes, oh, no, I've been to some clinics. I know what I want. Well, she got in the middle and she raised both of her hands in the air. And it's like, okay, this horse didn't respond. She goes, well, he's clearly not trained. And I said, well, you're clearly not trained in the cues that he's used to. That's why I asked you that. So you can get in there with cues that a horse has never seen and they're not going to respond. Maybe not the way you want, so.
It's like you're trying to talk to him in Spanish and give him things to do, but he doesn't speak Spanish.
That's right. He still speaks horse and he speaks whatever language I taught him. And it doesn't even need to be an established language. So that's exactly right. And people sometimes don't understand that.
All right. Where should we go next?
What feels good to you?
Well, something other than running him around in circles. But I like the one where you just get him to walk a couple steps and then stop. But I feel like he's just not going to do that.
Yeah, I think because that's very close to what you're doing right now. Let's completely change that up. Why don't you go to him and have him follow you? Go stroke his neck, praise him, because he's clearly looking at you for some direction. And then walk him towards the center, have him follow you there, and then have him turn on his hinds and fores on both sides.
His favorite game is following me. Hey, good boy. Come on. Get the leaf. Good boy. Go this way. Turn. Good boy. Oh, good boy.
Did I see him almost try to push into you?
Oh, yeah. He was giving me the business.
Yeah. Okay. So what we may need to do There we go. That's better. Oh, almost there. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, he's letting me just push him around.
Yeah. So you're having to push, and he's pushing back. There we go. That's better. If you can get him to there, that's better. Now lighten your touch up. And say if worse comes to worse, you can always put a halter on him, put him in hand, and then do these exercises. It's been a while since he's done this. He should remember it, though. I mean, it's, his memory's not that short. He's just messing with you.
Yeah, even when I try pushing around in the pasture, he still does the same thing.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, this is how I'm going to be pushy and dominate you, is I'm just going to not be pushed. That's there, and that's a little better, only because he turned his head around. So yeah, go ahead and turn him on the hinds now, and try to be as light as you can, but be forceful.
Okay. Good boy. I'm just gonna be annoying. He's like, oh, you're giving me a massage? Okay.
There we go. That's a little better. He's walking forward. There he took it. There we go. Good job. Good boy. Good job, Ashley.
Good boy.
As he moves in, try to push your body's energy into his flank, and use less physical pushing with if you can get away with it. If you have to pop him with the tips of your fingers, that's okay. Because he's not necessarily walking away from you there. He's just kind of locked up. There we go. Good. And the whole idea is, try not to do a lot of touches. It's small in number, but high in force. Yeah, he's about 2/3 of the way there with you, but he's still just kind of like, nah, I'll move only if I have to.
Right.
You can feel it. I mean, you can just see it in his face, even from this distance. So reach up on his neck behind his jaw, and push him up there too. Just jab him. There you go. And walk into that face. Oh, look at him push back.
Lady?
Yep, he is so pushing on you. So if you have to, look at that. Oh, push hard. And when I say push, I mean pop him. Just pop him with those fingers. If you need to do it on his jaw, that's okay too, or right behind his ear. He has got to comply with that. I saw that go there a little better. And try not to push, but pop him. Right behind his ear again. Keep going. And kind of put his face up near your chest. There you go. Step forward so that you can push him. And watch, because if he throws that head, just be careful, because he is a big old giant weight of bone there. Okay, here's a really good time to get back now and just work him around that round corral. If he's not going to comply like that, then push him off and make him work hard. He'll figure it out. Now push him in the opposite way. See how he's pushing into you? Think about this mentally. He's pushing you on that side still because he's working in front of you. So push him off and push him away towards the rail, not towards you.
Okay.
Make him push that opposite way. See what I'm saying, and the reason why?
Like when he's in the center pushing towards me?
Yeah, because he was doing that. Now you've got him working. So now turn him the opposite direction, but do it away from you. Push that. Now you're going to be pushing that head.
Okay, we'll try it again.
Yep. Yeah. Because now, see what he did? He just moved into you again on that side. So he's basically pushed you, even though you ask for this normally. Now he needs to be able to be pushed away. Okay, so turning the other opposite way. what we want to do is not work on so much of how much we're doing this. It's the amount of turns. Now, there you go. Now push him. Push, push, push. Go about one turn around the corral, and now push him again the other direction.
Wait.
There you go. Use that whip. That's fine. Push that towards his shoulder. There you go. Push him. Look at how he's locked up and doesn't want to move for you. Pop him on that shoulder right next to him, right next up to his shoulder. There you go. Pop the ground right. Just hit the ground right in front of him. Nope. Get him turned back around. Quick, 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 quick. Other way, other way, other way, other way. Turn him away from you. There you go. Good. Now turn him the other direction. Right there. No. It's all about the turns. Nope. Turn him back. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. Push him away from you. Push him away. Walk up and push on his neck. Just with your hands. Just pop him around. There you go.
Are you kidding me, dude?
Yep. See, now what he's doing is he's saying, now I can just push you anywhere I want. I am driving you around here. So pop that and don't be afraid to touch him on the shoulder with it. Touch him on the shoulder, just kind of tap him on the shoulder with that whip. And then pop it on the ground. Hard. Right. There you go. Now praise him for the move.
Good boy. I'm getting frustrated.
Yeah, it's okay. Now get behind him a little bit and drive him forward. There you go. That's a little better. Now, that was the easy side. Keep him going. Keep him moving. Don't let him stop. There you go. So you can see what he's doing is he's just locking up on you and saying, hey, if you can't move me, I don't have to work.
Right.
Okay, so and you know when they get like this, they are escalating the push. So when they escalate that, I've got no problem reaching up and tapping them on a shoulder, tapping them on the butt with that whip. That's not a problem because they are doing that. They are causing that problem because they're not listening. There you go. Better. Now drive him. Drive. Drive that whip. You're 4, 5, 6 seconds now. Pop him on the butt. Pop him. Nobody's going to throw you in jail for that. Pop him. Look at him. Look at him stand there and lift that head and say no. There we go. So we got to make this correction within about less than a second. About a half a second is best, or less. There we go. Better. Good job. Good job. Don't let him turn. Good job. Good job. You're doing it. You're doing it. Pop him on that shoulder and that outside. Nope. Wrong direction. That's okay. Let's make him go. Now turn him back immediately. There we go. Yes. Good. He almost tried to. That's kind of a really wimpy rollback, but that's okay. He's putting some energy into that moving backwards or the other direction. So now this is your tough one. So get him to turn and do it as.
So how do I get it to turn the opposite direction? Okay,
you're going too far to the right. You need to drive that shoulder. So you're kind of stopping and you're opening the door a little bit too much for him. So go ahead and stop. Now drive him the other direction by going right towards his shoulder. There you go. There you go. Now just do what you're doing on the other side is you're opening that up a little too much. Good job making him move. Make him move faster. He's trying to dictate how fast he moves too. And I know we're looking at surface, conditions there, but he's doing just fine. Okay. Now go ahead and turn him the opposite. There you go. Yes, good job. Don't let him turn into you. Pop that whip in front of him. Pop that shoulder if you need to. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're doing it. You're moving him. Just keep putting the pressure on him. Put that face around that rail. Keep moving. Okay, now don't put your hands on him, but just yeah. I know this is very hard to do, but use that whip and pop that shoulder if you need to. Just go ahead and tap him with it. Yeah, there you go. Do it again. Do it again. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. You're pinching him. You're doing just exactly what you need to do. Doing good. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Escalate it if you need to. You need to pop him a little harder. That's okay. And I know this is very frustrating, but keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Look at him. Look at how frustrated he is because he can't do what he wants. Make him move. You're doing great. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. He's turning his head. Keep going. Step just to the left, just a little bit, because he might try to squeeze past you. There you go. Okay. Grab that, walk up and push that face around. We're getting really, really locked up. So pop him on the nose with your hand. Just tap it. Tap his nose. Give him some direction, just like you would a little telling a dog no. There you go, like that. Keep doing it. Oh, look at him fight you. Pop, pop, pop. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And as soon as he goes and turns, then really, really tap him with that whip. Go ahead and pop him a little bit if you can. And I know you're struggling. On his nose, on his nose. More on his nose. There you go. Pop. Now go. Pop, pop, pop. Pop that hind end a little bit. Now we're going to... There. He knows what he needs to do. What a struggle. This is painful to watch, and I know it's even more painful for you. So hang in there. Look how they can push without pushing. I mean, that's exactly what he's doing. So now go ahead and push him the other direction. Push him away from you. And look how easy he can do that. Oh yeah, he wants out. Okay, good job. Pop that butt. Make him move. Make him move. There we go. Good, good. Make him go around about once, and we'll do this from another area. Aha! There's a little hesitation, thinking, maybe I should do this. And we'll take him from a different area of the corral where you haven't struggled with him yet. Anywhere in there. Now turn him. Good. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Pop that nose if you need to with your hand. Just push him around. There you go. Yep. Now pop that shoulder while you're popping that head. Can you make that whip make some sound right in front of his face? There you go. Pop the corral if you need to, right in front of him. Whatever it takes to get him to turn. Hard, hard, hard. Don't be too easy on him. And I know you're frustrated. Keep going. When you're about to quit, he's about to quit. Keep going. Keep going. You're doing it. You're doing it. Yes, 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 yes. Keep at it. Keep at it. Keep at it. Pop that shoulder. Pop him, pop him, pop him. Says he is escalating this so much, and he doesn't seem like he's doing anything, but he is the one who is absolutely causing this stoppage. Not you. You're doing everything you can to communicate.
No, I need to stop.
It's okay. It's all right. I know it is so frustrating. You're okay. Now I'm going to be philosophical with you here, and if you know, I'm not trying to make you mad, not trying to upset you, but you're learning so much from this, and you'll realize this in a while. But it's okay, and it's okay to be frustrated because he is outweighing you by, you know, he's 1,000 pounds, 1,400 pounds, and you're not. So just gather yourself, and it's all right. So what you're feeling like is you're failing, right? And you're not. You're just getting through a little spot here where he's trying to beat you, and you're going to get through it. So you're all right. There's nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to worry about. You're going to be fine. And look at how he is. He's just like, nope, nope. I want to check out. So you're trying so hard, and you are so invested in this, Ashley. You're doing great. Don't ever think that you're not. Good job. Keep going. Good. Now pop him on the butt. Don't be afraid to not pop him. Get him hard. There. Good job. Good. Very good. Good job. Yes. Pop him on the butt. Look at that. He'll back right into it. He is just being so obstinate. Pop him hard.
Oh boy.
There you go. Good job. See how he kicked that hind end up in that tail? He didn't like that, but you know what? He's causing that. He's escalating this. That's so good job.
I don't know how much more I can do. I've already thrown out my shoulder.
Okay, let's just turn him once and stop. Yep. Keep going. If you can do it, let's just get him turned. Pop. Yes. He's putting his head down. He's looking for a place to go, and he's got a place to go. He's just not taking it. Go! You're doing great. Keep him going. Look at that booger. And I know physically you're spent. If you can just get him to turn, and then we'll quit so we can regroup. But it's so important to get this turn. And I can hear it hitting the rails. That's good. If you can just pop him on the chest too. Don't worry about that. He's almost setting up, so he's got to turn. Go ahead and pop him on the chest. It's all right. You're making him move backwards, so you are making headway. Good job. Good job keeping him moving around. Now turn. There you go. Now just go right after him. Good job. Good job of stopping him. Pop him on the butt, make him go forward. And turn him. Good job. Good job, Ashley. That is what we're looking for. Look at how he tore out of there. He knows exactly what you want. Good job. So let's just go ahead and call that a win, and we'll regroup. But that was so important to have happen. So let's just stop him there, let him walk, let him stop, and we'll end this. Is that good with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this, and believe me, I have been there. I can't tell you how many times I went through a couple of refrigerators because I wouldn't show it in the corral if I could help it. and I would want to just grab something because I'm a dude and I just want to beat on it, and so I would go in and it's like I put a target on the refrigerator and I would dent the front of it with my head. I mean, so I know where you're at, believe me, and you're doing a really, really good job of putting everything you've got into what you're trying to attempt, and it's not working, or it's barely working, and you feel like it's not gonna happen, and it is. It's just I got to tell you, I'm really proud of how you are sticking with it. Very good job. Don't think that you haven't done a good job here. You have. Good job.
Thank you.
So
I don't know if I have anything to say to close out, but yeah.
Okay, well, I'll do it for you. Well, we'll do, and as Ashley can during the next week, she'll work on a few things, and we've got a really major hurdle here that we're going to have to kind of get past. I call them gremlins, so that sometimes will come up, and even with a horse that's trained later, you can just feel that there's something there that they haven't shown you, and this is in him. We know it's there because of just the nature of how he's been raised, handled, whatever. He's just kind of spoiled, and he doesn't want to do what he's doing. So she's doing a great job, and then we'll keep working on this and continue on. So everybody, thank you so much for watching Ashley. Great job, and we will see everybody next week.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Brandon and Ashley, and we'll go ahead and be joining Suzanne at 11 o'clock here. She's going to tell us what was going on with the traveling Christmas tree and the travails that the traveling Christmas tree had. So do stick around for that. It's been an incredibly busy morning here already, and of course Oggy was giving us some trouble there in the round pen, just being his normal, usual stubborn self, but we'll get through to him. Anyway, thanks again for joining us here today, and stick around at 11 o'clock for Suzanne, and then later today, let's see, at noon, we have Finding Freddy, where one of our remote cam operators will join me, and we'll go on the hunt for Freddy. So stay tuned for that. And then let's see, what's after that? We've got the return of the ice statue. That'll be fun. We'll be talking about where to build that and what it's going to look like maybe. So put a plan together for our annual ice statue. And then after that, we've got an introduction to a brand new series here this month at Montana Socials and Dunrovin, Animals as Helpers and Healers. So we're really looking forward to that and some of the programming we have coming up, including some exclusive film screenings that we'll be doing live. So that'll be really neat. And then, of course, later this evening we have Feeding the Herd. So thanks again for joining us today. Do stop back by here in just about 25 minutes. We'll have more for you. In the meantime, enjoy the sights and sounds of the ranch here as Ashley puts Oggy away, and we kind of take a break and reset for the next program. So we'll be back with you soon.